Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 54 of Speaking Sporadically. We are so glad to have you back for another episode. We have a awesome guest on today.
It's nice to be here.
I think you have to hold it closer to your face.
Yeah, get that right on top.
Wasn't really expecting to hear from you guys about this podcast, but definitely glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, Alan. So we actually have all five of us here today. Devin's in the background right now, just chilling.
It's kind of weird just like looking at
I'm here. It's Luke.
Trev.
It's sir.
And yeah, it's Jacob. So I guess Alan's going to be our main focal point today. So you came all the way from
San Marcos, Texas.
San Marcos, Texas. And how long have you been out there from?
I've been living in Texas for about 10 months now, so pretty much got a handle of it over there.
Alrighty. Is so I mean the weather's one thing, but anything else that like pros, cons, do you think you made the right choice right there?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely the right choice. The one thing, I mean, we're 2 hours from Canada?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
now I live an hour from
close.
Mexico. It's a whole different area.
Yeah.
That's a different vacation spot. Right there.
Why did you choose to move to Texas, of all places?
Well, I applied for working at Tesla since
Here, one
I was
second. You got to hold that.
I was all into Tesla, buying Teslas, looking at stuff. But I applied there and moved before I even got the job. And then I had to wait 2.5 months to figure out if I even had the job or not.
That is risky, right?
That is
there.
risky.
Yeah, but definitely the right decision. Love the job, love the area. It's just, it feels like you're living in a different country because I've never heard the term white people used so much because since we're so close to Mexico and you got other races there that you're pretty much the lowest on the food chain out there. So you got to watch what you say and pretty much learn a new language. Like, people always speak to you in Spanish, and then you'll just look dazed, and you'll be like, oh, then they'll switch over to English.
Have you picked up on much Spanish?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I'd say I can understand a conversation and respond in English. I just can't respond in Spanish, yes, unless it's like small talk, like good morning, how are you? Cussing people out, figured that out 'cause on the job you hear that a lot. But
Donde está el baño?
Where's
That's
the
it.
bathroom?
Mm-hmm. Or la coma, or the food, comma.
the food.
Where's the food? Those are the only two that.
Yeah,
I
where's
need.
the food and where's the bathroom?
Yeah.
that can get you places.
Well, one
right
in
there.
front of the other. Where's the food? Where's the bathroom? That's
all you need.
Usually
all I
about an
got.
hour apart.
yeah, typically.
Yeah, I'd say the weirdest one was like when you try and like date someone out there, they're gonna speak Spanish or their whole family Spanish. And whenever the first time I heard the word TMO,
I've heard it, but I don't.
I thought that was like a name or a restaurant or something, and it's apparently the word I love you. But I started typing in my phone like, okay, we're going to TMO. Like, and her whole family was sitting there, and I'm like making like myself look horrible because I don't speak Spanish and stuff like that. But I will say, speaking of food, I've never had pancakes, never had waffles, none of that breakfast stuff in Texas.
What do they have?
Breakfast tacos, salsa.
Oh,
Okay, that sounds
Liquid
amazing.
salsa for breakfast, pretty much.
Actually, I love making like Western omelets and stuff like that, or
Nope.
Southwestern.
No omelets, tacos.
There's no eggs.
Rarely.
wow.
Oh, really?
It's all tacos.
Oh my lord,
It's a lot of
Restaurants are all
tortillas.
different.
dude, I love tacos, but
No drive-thrus.
No drive-thrus?
Nope, not one single drive-thru. No one's ever heard of a drive-thru.
Really?
Yeah.
I go broke. Not even like a McDonald's.
like a
or anything
McDonald's,
there.
you go in.
I mean, food-wise, yeah, but like
There's no
owls.
oh,
such
no,
a thing
like-
as a carry-out.
Yeah, there's no carry-out.
That's
nothing.
actually
Actually,
common in
I've
a lot
heard
of
that before,
places.
though. Like, it's like illegal just because it's like alcohol and a pass-through, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can't buy alcohol through a drive-thru at all.
Hmm.
Doesn't exist. But I mean, when you're driving around, you can figure out who's a tourist and who lives there pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I couldn't name how many times I've seen people like in the wrong one-way lane.
Mm.
It's kind of confusing because you have one lane going towards you, and then you have 2 lanes your way, and then 2 lanes the other way. 1 lane your way, 1 lane the other way, all next to each other without
really?
any dividers. It's just lines on the road.
I get confused on the like one road one ways in the one city closest.
Yeah, so
and
there's-
I've driven to work like 80 times in a row every day after day, and I still get confused.
Yeah, so there's like 8 lanes going underneath one bridge plus 2 U-turns on each side. You got to figure all that out.
Whoa.
So you mentioned something about like you can tell who's a tourist and who's like a resident. How long did it take you to feel like you were a resident rather than like a tourist? You know what I'm saying?
I'd say 6 months.
6 months. It
Wow.
took that long?
Figure
Half
out
a year?
how to drive there, how to understand everything, where things are at.
And get your bearings of the whole place.
Just talking to people. Yeah.
Dang.
Because, I mean, I only knew 2 people when I went out there.
Right.
And that was Blaine Brockschmidt from Miami East. And his friend, he's also from Ohio. I now know him, but, like, I mean, I'd say I know a couple hundred people now. But when I went down there with 2 people, it took me forever to figure things out and where to go and meet people and stuff like that. But 6 months. Easy.
I guess when you think about it, like for something so far and so drastically different, 6 months is not that bad.
Yeah, to your credit, that is.
Yeah, that's actually
Texas is a big step up from
Oh, yeah.
like where you grew up at or what you're
It's
used to.
just so
from where
different
we
from
are.
where you grew up at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like just gas station cashiers, like they speak a little bit of English, but like
right.
trying to understand Spanish and what they're talking about,
Mhm.
that took 6 months as well.
Where for them down there, they pretty much grew up doing both their entire
Oh, yeah.
life, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
second nature for any of them.
For most people, Spanish is their first language, English is their second. So that was a little complicated at first. I was a little out of my element.
So
Well,
you,
Well, yeah, you can go ahead.
I was gonna switch over. You say you work at Tesla. What do you do?
Bro, that's
at
what I was
Tesla,
gonna-
exactly.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, great minds think alike.
So pretty much what I do is, I guess I fabricate installs for solar panels and batteries.
Okay.
So like I get a client, like I get all their information, their billing, their house, their address, and then I'll go on Google Earth, like look at their house, pretty much figure out how many panels they need or we can actually install, and figure all that out. And then I pretty much virtually build it online, and then I write down a list of every nut, bolt, panel, wire, connector, everything that we will possibly need for the install, put it on a list, give it to inventory. They take it, put it on a rack, and then they go out and install it. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I'll help install every once in a while because Google Earth will be like not show an air vent or like have a pipe sticking out of their roof randomly, and we'll have to go out there and pretty much refabricate everything. But pretty much I kind of do an office job, in the field job.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
So you don't mess with anything with the car manufacturing side of the company.
I was going to be working with the batteries in their new plant, but then they're like, hey, you have more electrical background, with like my trade school and college. They're like, yeah, we're going to switch you over to the solar department. So I didn't really care. It's still Tesla. Pay was still the same, so I was like, sure.
So these battery packs, do they like power their house then? Is that like
Yeah.
what they're looking for there?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much completely go off the grid. You're still on the grid just because of legal reasons, but yeah, they're completely free.
So how big is that becoming? Is people like I know there's sometimes government incentives for people to install natural
Yeah,
energy.
in Texas, there's a lot. Like
A lot.
some people get it for free
Wow.
because pretty much every house in Texas. Like when I was on the roof once, and I looked over and I recorded it. Every roof around the neighborhood that I could possibly see had solar panels on it, and with them powering their own houses like that and selling it back to the company. I mean, 2 years ago they had a blackout, and actually, I think it was like a couple hundred people died because they were so cold.
Yeah,
in
because
Texas.
that's when the
yeah.
snow took out a
Yeah.
lot of power plants, right?
Yeah,
And
so
then
the incentive is there.
People just didn't know what to do either because you're in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
this doesn't happen in Texas.
Yeah, my roommates actually sat in their vehicles and ran them just to stay warm.
Oh my gosh.
That's
So,
insane.
and then like the water pipes froze and they didn't have water. You couldn't eat. You couldn't do nothing for a little over a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, things like that will open up your eyes to
Yeah.
how good your infrastructure actually is.
Yeah.
I know we just installed solar panels and we got a tax rebate on it,
Yeah,
like a discount kind of.
tax incentive or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Do you want to stay in this department of Tesla? And do you want to stay with Tesla? Like, is there room for you to like move up or grow?
I mean, yeah, there is like one position in the department that I'm at right now, but my main goal would be to be in the engineering department, like higher up in the plant.
So this is just like a foot in the door, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. It doesn't really happen often that people can grow in the company because they hire everyone for that position.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really raise yourself to that level. It's pretty hard to do that, but I mean, it'd be nice because all the jobs there are pretty hard to get. The reason why I had to wait 2.5 months was the acceptance rate into Harvard is a lot easier than Tesla.
Wow.
So
That is insane. Harvard's
Yeah.
is what, like 8%ish, if that?
yeah,
Something
I have
insane.
no idea.
I kind of feel bad because one of the guys I work with, Victor, he said it took him like 9 tries to get in. And he's like 47. I mean, he speaks decent English, but that's the main reason why he couldn't get hired was English. But I mean, it's different.
Yeah. How much do you make a year in this job, if you don't mind us asking?
Yeah.
I was curious about that.
Depending on every month is different.
Or do you get like a commission based on how many like jobs you're doing?
Pretty much like we call it panel pay. So every house that we install correctly, wire, everything's there. Like I didn't forget like a smart switch at the warehouse, like so they have to run back and do that. And if I plan everything correctly and they install it correctly, we get paid every dollar for every panel they install, and it could be between 100 to 350 panels per week.
Okay.
So it is, I think it's not salaried, but like hourly, it's roughly like 110 to 115 a year.
Okay.
So with the extra panel pay, it's probably like 115 to 120.
Oh.
So
It's a nice little kick on top usually
yeah,
Yeah.
for all the panels.
yeah.
So it's more like a work quality
Yeah.
incentive.
Yeah, it's more of their brand name to have everything go in correctly and their
Mm.
what do you call it?
It's good rep.
Yeah,
It's good company rep. You know, it's good for Tesla to always have good quality work done every time. No issues, no hassle, just
yeah.
done.
Pretty much you want a smooth install with the customer and have them talk about it to other people.
Right.
But
On top of that, is there anything else that like Tesla does that you think is a lot different than other companies? Because they're more, I would say they're more of a state of the art company,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with
or they're
that.
looked at like that.
it's kind of weird because I mean Tesla is Tesla, but then the guy that's running it is shooting rockets off,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say
going to Mars.
a lot of the stuff that you see on Tesla isn't necessarily Tesla. It's just like the charisma and character of like
Elon.
Musk. Right.
Yeah.
Have you met the
It's kind
man?
of hard to differentiate the two.
I think was it Friday or Thursday?
You had brunch.
Nice little press conference, and he
No,
invited.
no,
he's like,
last-
Alan, I need you here.
He did have like it was like an open house where he had all of his employees go and like he did his own speech and then walked us around the facility and explained every department to everyone just so they have a understanding of what's going on. But he was there and did a little speech at like 8:00. They gave us like supper and stuff like that, but
More tacos.
yeah,
Oh.
it was different. It was Elon Musk tacos.
Oh, okay. Free tacos.
Yeah.
Supper tacos.
It was good. But that's the only time I've ever seen him. People say when he's walking the facility, you don't want to talk to him. You don't want to say hi. You don't want to look at him because he's like all serious. Because if he's in the facility and you can physically see him, something's wrong.
Yeah, that's what-
There's an issue.
So seeing
Yeah.
big
So-
problem. Big man's
With
in
a man
town.
that-
There's a big problem.
Yeah, with a man that does so much with his like life, and there's only 24 hours in a day. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would not want to be in his way, even if like I'm the best employee he has.
Yeah.
Like I would just stay out of the way. To be honest,
because he yells at his best employees like dramatically. And another thing is he lives like 30 minutes south of me in his little $20,000 home. It's
Little.
like a mobile home. It's like where
that's kind of funny.
it ships there and then it pulls out kind of like a camper and like it builds itself up. and you can like weld it. It's kind of like those cargo container houses.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's like
I
a
think I might have seen
$20,000
it.
house that he lives in.
Does
That's
he
actually awesome.
does he move around the country a lot then?
I mean, he has multiple houses around the United States and other countries, but I mean, his main way of transportation is he always flies in his helicopter. Like, he doesn't drive through traffic because, I mean, that would take like 2-3 hours. So you always see him flying, but he has homes all over the place, especially in, I think it's China, that new facility they're putting up. He has a mansion out there, which is kind of weird because he's all about small homes and doesn't care about money and stuff like that. But guess you gotta splurge.
I guess when you're in a different country like that, though, you might have to like show your prestige through a physical, tangible object like a house, but
Yeah.
Or a rocket.
If,
Saying.
just taking the
if
rocket
you show
over.
up to China, then come and live in your mobile home, they might question.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is true. Yeah.
A little bit.
Because you got to think about like they're really old school there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communism, not actually communism, but essentially communism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool that you've just like kind of seen him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just like the richest man in the world right there. Awesome.
He-
We actually Jacob and I did talk about this. Because I thought it was Bezos, right?
Jeff.
It was.
And then Jacob said he just checked. What page was that you were?
It
looking
was,
at?
I think, Forbes, the top 100 list they made.
Literally, like over the course of 2 days, I happened to check it one day before, and then Jacob checked it the second day, and then it like switched.
Yeah.
So-
Because, these guys' net worth really depends a lot on
Yeah.
their company's stock value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like on hand we have no idea, but stock it just went to Elon,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big.
unless he sells on Twitter.
Yeah. Are you game for him buying Twitter?
Not really. I mean, he has his foot in so many doors right now. It's crazy because like the fight between him and Bezos, like it's bad because Amazon just put up a new facility in Austin right across from
Oh,
the Tesla factory.
it's like Menards and Lowe's.
Yeah.
Except there's a clear winner there.
Yeah, and what's his rocket? Blue something? His rockets that he's been going up against SpaceX.
I did not know he had rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has rockets. He has a whole pretty much company going up against SpaceX. And,
I've not been keeping up with this multi-billionaire feud.
it's like Blue something, and he tried suing Elon Musk because NASA gave Elon the permission to go do the space center, like bringing supplies and stuff like that, and Jeff is still on Earth doing nothing about it except for trying to sue him. So there's billionaire fights
Yeah.
and both of them. Blue Origin.
Blue Origin.
Thank you, Devin.
Thank you,
Thank you, Devin.
Our backstage man just gave us a little fact check
fact
right
check.
there.
But
Good
yeah,
fact check.
I think he just started it recently too. But
So
once
that's
he
his.
saw-
So Blue Origin's like Jeff's
Yeah.
SpaceX. Wow.
I did not
when
know
you're a
that.
billionaire, you can just start a rocket
I'm just saying, the
Yeah.
second
Do it.
one of these men decides to just make a TIE fighter, it's all over. I'm just saying. They own space after that.
I think Elon owns Mars, theoretically.
That's
In
sick.
theory.
But I mean, him and only his company has been there multiple times.
Yeah, but
Mm.
I think there's some legislative thing that was passed that pretty much says no one owns space. It's like community.
Community.
For now.
If someone makes a TIE
Everyone-
fighter.
Yeah.
Then it's not community.
Well, that's what I'm
We're
saying.
just gonna have a
They've
space
made their
war.
decision. Now let them enforce it. If someone has something shooting lasers in space, you can't.
Space cowboys taking over it. It's like the wild, wild west out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's already 3D printing homes on Mars.
I
right
saw that.
Yeah,
That's
I've
actually
seen
pretty
clips
cool.
of that.
now. That's crazy.
So, what did you all do before Tesla? Like, what was your kind of your previous job experience or education experience that you got?
Pretty much, I was a production engineer at Pratt Industries, that Australian billionaire. He's
Yeah.
Australian. Yeah, if you know in Wapakoneta.
Mm.
So I was an engineer there. Pretty much, I guess you could say, I was a fixer. Like anything broke down, anything need tweaked, anything need reset. Because it was a brand new facility in Wapakoneta, and we had so many problems. We just had to fine tune everything and pretty much just fix small problems. And did that for like a year and a half, and then went to Crown, became an electrical engineer there, pretty much working on building new, what do you call it, forklift wire harnesses. So
Okay.
pretty much just kind of what I'm doing now at Tesla, but like telling them how long of wire, where they need to run, connected to the computer. Pretty much just small electrical work.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Small.
So
Puts a whole like house's
Yeah.
electrical panels on.
but yeah, but when I moved to Texas, the first 2.5 months, it was nice.
No
Waking
work.
up every morning at noon,
Yeah.
paddleboarding on the river, pretty much just out hooping with the guys. Pretty much just
Waiting to hear back from
living a vacation for 2.5 months.
Wow.
That is insane.
that does kind of sound like the dream right there.
Go to bed at 5 a.m., wake up at noon.
Did you ever get like a little restless towards the end, or did you just kind of try to enjoy it? You know what I mean?
I was ready to go to work.
Yeah.
Playing video games all day,
Yeah.
pretty much just going around, taking naps on the river. But I will say it's nice because all the water, the river, like canals, everything was crystal clear, blue.
I'm so jealous.
Not
of
like
that.
Lake Loramie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Not
you
even
can see
close.
30 foot straight down.
Oh my.
that's insane.
Because it's
Crazy.
natural spring water, so it's just crystal clear.
Is there a lot of recreational fishing out there?
Yeah.
Huge. Texas
Yeah.
is like one of the biggest states for fishing.
And
They
like
have
the
some crazy
fishing.
fish.
Yeah, and you can.
I mean, it's like one of the only places in the world where you can catch a bass that's like 12 pounds.
there's competitions for that. There's tons of competitions. Like
I
you win
assumed-
thousands of dollars, new boats.
Do they police it pretty hard?
Not really. I mean, I did have to learn that. Like, we got campus police. Because I live so close to campus. Campus police, regular police, and then you got sheriffs, then you got state troopers, and then you got the rangers. There's like so many cops out there, and then you got the wildlife agencies. I don't know how hard they go on that, but I wouldn't assume. I mean, they're pretty laid back. Cops are really laid back there. So I wouldn't really know too much on that.
What would you say is the best part, or like the part you enjoy most about Texas, I would say, compared to like around here?
I'd say the environment. Like, I will say it is a little liberal, but pretty much just it's a young area that I live in. Very young. Weather's always good. Always something to do. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy what's going on in there and how many people are there. And there's always parties. There's always, like, I don't know how to explain it.
Something
Somewhere to
going
go,
on.
something to
Yeah.
do, someone
Yeah.
to meet.
There's
no
always
off days?
options. Yeah, there's always options. There's never just sit at home like what to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's always
That's
stuff
pretty
going
nice.
on.
That would be very nice.
So it's just a bit more fast paced than.
Yeah, it's
Around
very
here.
fast paced. Like just the driving, like you got interstates stacked on interstates 4 high. Like I'd
Which
say
is-
well into 200 to 300 foot in the air.
That's nuts.
You're driving about the height of skyscrapers. Like I think it was like a 15-story building. Like you're way over it. Like just driving, just because the interstates,
That
the
is crazy.
infrastructure is there.
That's crazy.
But
It's a lot different than my average watching the grass grow every day.
yeah, I mean, if you want, you could always go there and watch Joe Rogan and live. I think he does that like a few times a month, but
I
Like
didn't
just
know-
random stand up at like a local club.
it's like more high end. Like you have to like pull up in a car and like wear certain stuff to get into, just get in the doors. But
Like at his own facility.
I don't know if he owns it or he's just a part of it. But it's very expensive if you want to try and get in. But he does do it. But sometimes people stand out there and catch him on his way in or way out, and just like, I guess, paparazzi him. But yeah, it's weird. Whenever I found out he's 40 minutes downtown in Austin, but I mean, there's a lot of fancy stuff that goes on, like the State Farm commercials. Those are in Austin.
All of
Are
them?
there a film there?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Like they fly Pat Mahomes and Rodgers down there?
It's like a, I don't know, like a 5-house estate. And because I was there once, because I was just driving around and I didn't realize it was private property. But maybe, I mean, yeah, it had like gates and the gates were open. But
Probably a good clue.
Shut your
Probably
gates.
a gated community.
yeah, no, it wasn't a community. It's just like a personal
It's a gated estate, I guess,
Yeah.
with 5
with multiple gates and
multiple
just take a
different.
left, and then there's like this guy in this whole the whitest getup I've ever seen, cleaning the pool, and then you just pull up and there's Range Rovers and like fancy ass stuff
Jake
like
from
that.
State Farm's watching.
Yeah.
walking the
Jake
dog.
from State.
I don't think they were there, but like it was just like the maintenance guys were
Right.
like, "Yeah, this is private." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Bunch
My
of
bad.
khaki
But
shorts
you're-
on the clothesline.
but the gate was open. I mean, might as well just go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't mad. They're just like, "Yeah, you can't be here." I don't think anybody was there, or else they'd care. But
Right.
I was just driving around because that's what I did, was try and just drive around aimlessly, trying to figure out the roads there. But it didn't really work out because I went down a one way the wrong way and had like 3 lanes of traffic coming right at me, and I had to like spin a U-turn.
Oh my.
That's when I went home and just like went back to GPS. Like I still use GPS. Like if I want to go somewhere, GPS it. I mean, I'll look at it if I know how to get there, but I'll just doubt myself.
Dang.
So I've heard in places like UK and stuff like that they think like driving like upwards of 30 minutes to go somewhere is like absolutely insane. Is the time frame for driving there compared to here any different to like go to a place, or have you, because it's like a city, have you grown like pretty tolerant when it comes to like waiting longer in the car or like going farther?
I would say, depending on the time, I mean, if you want to go 4 miles in Austin, it'd take over an hour, like depending on traffic. Because like the interstates below are all packed, and the interstates
Right.
above are all packed. And I mean, whenever it gets packed, people just go off the road and like take the feeder road. There's like you drive through the ditch, but there's like, you can tell that there's a path there, and then the feeder roads get backed up, and the interstate's still backed up. And I was doing I think a 13-mile trip home, and it said like 34 minutes, and then it jumped up to well over 2 hours because it said traffic, and it had like 3 accidents.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah,
So everything's more or less closer, but
it's
Traffic
it takes
just
longer.
It might as well be
Insane.
20 miles
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, like every day when I get home from work, I get off the interstate before I get to my town. So I take the feeder road in because the interstate every day, every morning, every night, it's just creeping along at like 5 miles an hour.
Everyone's getting off work.
Yeah,
Oh,
because it's getting packed. Like there's too many people.
wow. It's a lot different than the only traffic we have here. One of the 2
a
stop
tractor.
tractors are the one of the 2 stoplights in our town.
Yeah, I mean, even Houston, they have 9-lane wide interstates,
Like on one side.
one side.
And it still gets backed up.
Yeah,
It's
That is insane.
yeah. It's, if you look at Houston or ever go to Houston, it's crazy.
I
To
would,
start flying.
Yeah.
I would not be patient enough for that. 4 miles and it's like
No
an
way.
hour.
Yeah, that's why people put those spikes on their rims. You ever seen that?
To go off roading or something.
No, they
Like,
weld spikes to the rim that stick out like 2 foot. So that when they're on the interstate, people will get out of their way. 'Cause
Oh yeah.
that sounds very illegal.
there's a word for it. But have you ever seen that before?
I have.
It's everywhere.
I've seen like semi trucks that have them on, but they seem like built into the rim.
No, I mean they might be built in, but they look welded on because they're spinning so fast. But it's just like off of some movie, like off-road movie or something. Like the spikes they look sharp.
Like Mad Max.
Like, yeah, Mad Max it.
But
Yeah.
they're on like trash cars. Like no nice cars have them. They're like
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I would get like a bike. You ever see bikes slipping
gonna
through
say.
yeah.
the lanes of traffic?
I mean, I let them because I rode my bike for years, and I bought a bike. I bought my dream bike second week I was there.
Oh wow.
Loved it. It was a Ducati 1098. Fun bike, but within the first week I almost got hit 4 times
Ooh.
because we have lanes that go from like 3 lanes to 2 lanes to 1 lane,
Right.
and I'm in front. And I will admit I was a little bit to the right side. Some car passed the one behind me real fast and tried to get over, thinking it was empty, but I was there. So then I had to gun it and like pass like 4 people on the side of the road. But just stuff like that. Or I did get rear-ended in Austin in my Tesla.
Ooh.
Some lady was like texting and driving and hit me at like 45 while I was stopped at a stoplight and threw me into the intersection.
She hit you at 45. I remember that. It did not
Yeah.
look like that much damage.
Yeah, it
Through the
wasn't.
car or you into the intersection?
Through the car.
Oh. Well, it's not like you flew out the window.
Hitting him into the intersection.
No.
We wouldn't be having Alan on the
All right.
podcast.
But
Well,
she was doing.
yeah,
she
we-
did that. And
Well, we got to wrap it up for this segment because the camera shuts off at 30 minutes. But If you guys want to know more about the car you saw at the beginning, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, so
Been
after
holding off
this.
for the second segment.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys in a bit.
Peace.
All right, welcome back, guys. Now we're going to get into what we kind of been waiting for to talk about. So, Alan, you've had an extensive little, I guess, career or life with vehicles. You had some pretty interesting ones along the way. You want to run us through like what you've all owned throughout your life?
Let's say the only impressive thing would probably be, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, the old Camaro, the red one.
Yeah, the red
That
Camaro.
one. Yeah, that was my first, I guess you could say, nice car. Before that, it was just like Pontiac, 98, Honda, like just, starter cars. But the first time I bought that Camaro was the start of when I liked to get into cars. So I did end up selling that to like a 19-year-old guy, came down from Michigan, sold that before I went to Texas. Currently, I did have my first Tesla while I had the Camaro.
What model was that?
That was a 2020 Tesla Model 3, just basic. It was like the basic version. That was the start of when I liked Teslas, and I kept that one until I moved to Texas, and I sold that. And then I got another Tesla 2021 Model 3 long range performance. Because in Texas, you can sell a car and profit off of it by a lot. There's
Is that prohibited in some states?
no, it's just how many people are in there and wanting cars and stuff like that.
What you can't do is you can't get one from a dealership and then, bless you, Devin.
You
Bless
okay?
you, Devin. I
Can't say what I usually
you can't
say.
get one from a dealership and then
Sell to another. That's
dealership.
illegal. I
Yeah,
saw
you-
a story on Reddit about
You
that.
can't do that.
The thing
There's
is,
more to it, but that's basically it.
you can't
Yeah.
buy from a dealership without. You can't get MSRP price at all. It's crazy right now. You cannot. They'll up it by $20,000-$40,000 per car.
That's how it is around here too. You look at things around here and it's marked up way out of proportion.
Yeah.
But it's just not being able to get cars.
Or some people just need a car, and around here, a classic car, like a 68, 69 Mustang, something like that. That's a daily driver. People on the interstate just drive it. It's an A to B car for them. That car out there in that woods.
Mhm.
What is that? Do you know?
Oh,
El
no.
Camino.
Yeah, the El Camino.
Yeah.
That'd be $90,000 in Austin right now if you found a collector easily.
Damn.
Some people drive them as A and B cars. Some people use them as collector cars.
Podcast side project, anybody?
Yeah.
But
My grandpa's
Let's
looking to get
upgrade-
rid of it.
Let's upgrade this cabin, boys.
We can buy his TikTok then too.
Yeah. You could buy his TikTok and have leftover for the cabin.
But yeah, that was my second Tesla. And then I sold that. But with the Teslas in the car market right now, you can profit. I profited from the Camaro, the four-wheeler, the first Tesla, the second Tesla, and that's what got me enough for this one.
You just keep trading up.
Yeah. Trading up until, if I don't get more than 5,000 profit per car, I'm not going to sell it. You can always make more than that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Someone's more desperate out there.
Yeah.
You just gotta drive a hard bargain. Be a shrewd negotiator.
Yeah, you gotta sweet talk them.
Yeah.
Sweet talk them in. But yeah, now I'm up to the Corvette, and
Yeah, so what exactly what brand model Corvette is that?
it's a 2020 C8 Stingray.
Okay.
So it is a Chevy, but I don't say the word Chevy because there's no Chevy logo on the car at all.
It's just a Corvette.
Yeah.
It's a
It
Corvette.
says Team Corvette on the side.
Mhm.
It has a C8R. Does that mean anything, or is that just a random decal?
It's the race edition.
Okay, I figured, but
they had their most successful year in Corvette history in the European tracks this year.
Oh,
this past
okay.
year, because of the car. Going from, Corvette's a decent car before this one, but this one changes everything.
well, it went mid-engine from front engine, and it changes the dynamics. Essentially,
Yeah.
you just entered into Lamborghini, Ferrari territory with the way it handles, the way it looks.
Yeah, and it performs that well too. It's crazy.
I took a ride in it before we started this, and I thought the craziest thing was the rear view mirror is a camera, because right behind you is just the engine bay, and then like it has the obviously the glass, and you can see the engine right behind you.
Yeah,
So,
I like that feature.
yeah.
It's very Gallardo-esque. And Gallardo really changed the game, too, in that one, too. It was fun.
What was that Alan was saying about how hard it was to understand languages? Like when you
Yeah. Mr. Gallardo?
What? Mr. Gallardo. I said Gallardo-esque.
Yeah, I know. Like, what is
So-
It's a
that?
Lamborghini Gallardo.
Oh,
It was
okay.
I
more
thought
like
you
the
were the guy,
boxy.
That boxy, squared-off look.
Yeah.
It's just like classic. It's like you
Okay.
think Lamborghini, you think Gallardo, you think Murcielago, you think that
Huracan.
era, that early 2000s, late 90s era
I think of the Lamborghini Huracan.
Lamborghini. No, I don't.
That's my favorite.
I think about gated manuals and a Murcielago and a V naturally aspirated V12 is one of the best sounding engines of all time. But
Yeah.
I like the Volkswagen W16.
what? The Bugatti W16?
I think Jim Brown was a really good football player.
All right, you just switched languages on me.
But yeah, it is staying naturally aspirated.
Mm.
That one is.
You're not going turbo supercharger?
No, they do have it available, but I'm just doing at home. I have to install it. Yeah, I have the headers, the track headers, high flow cats. And I put the track X pipes on, and then the carbon fiber twin cone intake.
It already sounds good, and it's just going to get louder. I mean, cat deletes just
Yeah, it's gonna be cat and headers.
Do most supercars nowadays come naturally aspirated?
no.
I was going to say, I thought most would come with a turbo.
Yeah,
They've almost exclusively gone turbos, and it's kind of sad because naturally aspirated sounds so much
Yeah.
better.
Unless you hear like that whistle of that turbo winding up.
That's about the only thing they got going on.
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know, just a good supercharger sounds good, but it doesn't sound right anymore. Like it's just they're just using it to get more power out of it, and
At that point, you're just there to go fast, but
yeah.
so you can look at it both ways. So
Yeah. So you said you have the local track. Have you visited it much?
Yeah, I've took the car on the track twice now, and the first time was really hard. Like those turns, they come up unexpected, like so easily. And I always told them like, "Hey, put me in the back. Like, I've never done this before." And they were like, "Okay, if anybody comes up behind you, about to pass you, just pull into the pits, let everybody go by, and then get back out." And I would say I almost crashed like 4 or 5 times. Like it's hard. Like after a while, they're like, "Yeah, if you want to turn, you have to hit the brakes for your car to turn, or if you want to accelerate, you have to go slower around the turn to accelerate." Like the car is programmed for that, so it knows when you're doing a turn, you hit the brakes and then it'll automatically slingshot you out instead of you hitting the gas.
you accelerate through the corners. It's more inertia being pulled through.
Yeah, so that's why, like I told you about the PDR, like the SD card.
Mm-hmm.
So it will record the audio and video of your car and put your RPMs, how much your gas pedals hit, your brake, and pretty much tell you what gear, and you can watch that and why did your tires slip out. Like you can watch the video and figure out. But there is a school on how to actually drive that car before you actually drive it. But I never did that.
Is it just like using that car in like Forza, the video game?
Yeah,
Like GTA or something.
I guess you could say that, yeah. Pretty much everything setting-wise is stock. Like, I didn't mess with the settings. I didn't do the suspension, the timing. I did a little bit of the timing or, like, the gear shifts, but I don't know.
You just don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You should bring it to a dyno and get them dynoed and
You
do
would
some
do that,
tuning.
but that car is self-tuning, the MCU. So they're uncrackable. You cannot tune that car.
it's all locked down by Chevy.
Yeah, and it's
I thought they made it. I
uncrackable.
thought they made a law that each car had to have a universal OBI so that you could get into the, like the, like the brain of the car.
You can do like an OBD2 connector and like do like the settings or like if any lights pop up, but it's uncrackable.
That's sucks.
Partners, Devin has to take a call. Unprofessional.
He's our tech guy. That's what he's supposed to do.
I know. Technically, it's Trey's call.
Yeah, it's my call.
He just handed his phone to Devin. He took it.
But so like, how does that whole track process work? Like, does it cost much? Do you just go in and they just
Yeah,
groups of like 10 or what?
They only do groups of 8 just so there's not too many people on there, and depends who shows up. Like if I show up, I might not be able to get in because my car's not fast enough, or if it's too fast. Like if there's people there with McLarens or Lambos, which is the common, you have to be fast enough to stick with them so that they don't pass you like lap after lap. Or if I show up and then there's little lawnmower Honda Civics out there, I can't get on the track because I'll be lapping them. So you have to figure out who's going to be there and then go with them. And then the insurance is, you have to have special insurance.
Right.
So if you crash,
You can be covered at least.
yeah, but you have to wear a hydraulic helmet and back plate. So like you won't get whiplash and stuff like that. But other than that, nothing much. I mean, that's about it.
You said
Show
it's a
up and
Formula
drive.
One track.
Yeah.
So you're not just whipping around an oval.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's
a
true
lot.
turns. You got turns, apexes. You have to follow, and it's crazy. Like it's actually a track. It's not just ovals.
Do they have you like look at a map for a good amount of time, or do they just let you?
No, you go. You do the track like 35, 40 miles an hour, like one or two laps.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that
makes
Learn it
sense.
by driving it.
Right. That makes sense.
A little bit more.
so you do 2 laps at that like slow speeds, like under 60 miles an hour, and then you just like figure everything out, and then after the 3rd lap, everyone just knows to go. But,
And then you just go full send on it after that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So comparatively to what's like a good Formula One car lap, what percentage of that can you do?
Oh, I'm minutes behind that. I mean, they're cruising at like 248 mile an hour.
Well, they are.
My car
Yeah.
tops out at like 210.
Yeah, but I was just wondering like how comparable it was.
I mean, those things are engineered and made to do those for track times, and me out here just trying to figure out where the next turn is at.
Have you
It's a little
posted
bit
any
different.
lap times that you're like proud of? Like you said, that was a good lap. If someone else was driving this same vehicle, I would have probably a good time.
No, I don't really know too many people with the C8 that go to the track, so I wouldn't know other track times. But I do have another, I guess you call it race, at the Ferrari Club of America Hills track on the 29th. So if I can get that SD card working again, I'm probably going to film that and post that, because that one is more of a beginner's track, so it's less 90s and 180s and stuff like that. It's more flowing track. So you can go a lot faster on that one and probably get up to like 190, 200 miles an hour on the straightaway. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I can keep doing it. It's a lot of fun. It's whenever you stop, like you're shaking a little bit because like you're going like
Adrenaline.
the fastest I've ever gone was 180 on the straightaway, and you're like 180, and then all of a sudden you see the turn coming up, and you have to brake and downshift and downshift and downshift, and then do a turn at 60 miles an hour, and then you got another left turn. It's just, like you got adrenaline,
Yeah.
crazy amount.
Yeah.
But
Hyper focused.
yeah,
So to get onto the track, do you have to like pay for it or like have an invitation or like?
kind of both. Like
Is it a club?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have to
Same as
part
having
of
like
it.
a country club around here.
Yeah, except for
I
pretty much
see.
cars. And I mean, it's only like some tracks are like 200, some tracks are like 1,000 for a
Mhm.
day, but they give you gas,
Oh, that's nice.
so they
Oh,
pay
that's
for your
really nice.
gas all day. And
So you could use it as much as you want, pretty much.
yeah,
for that
because
day.
when you're racing, you're getting like 6-7 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
I bet.
Like you're screaming the car at like 6,500 RPMs, pretty much most of the time.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's worth it. I mean, it's a big thing in Austin already, so
It's just something to
Texas.
do.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have snow really. Like I never had snow during the winter. It got down to like 30, but like cars like that, Lamborghinis, they're year-round cars.
They're just running out there.
Yeah. But you'll be surprised how many nice cars and like fancy cars you see on the interstate all the time. All the time.
I mean, I would probably just cry. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I saw like I'd say like a 90-year-old man just driving a Lamborghini Urus, just like hunched over the wheel, going like 60 in the slow lane. I'm like, why? Like,
Why'd you buy that?
because you can. Just spending it.
So that, on that note, just to ask, do you think like there will ever be a point? Like, are you like satisfied with this car, or do you think you're continuously just going to try to like move up with it and just sell with a certain profit and then just keep getting the next car?
I'm probably gonna move up with it.
What's next on the list,
To be
though?
fair, that would make sense. If you
What's
can,
the
why
next
wouldn't you?
reasonable move up? Because I mean, there's a clean divide between your like supercars that are sitting around like $100,000, $150,000. Then you get into your $1 million cars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I would never want a Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren. Like, I would never purchase one of those. Maybe to buy it and then resell it, but I wouldn't want to own one.
Mm.
I wouldn't probably stick with the Corvette because of the mid-engine, and I would be waiting for the Z06 if it ever becomes a thing.
So basically, just play it by ear.
Yeah, because with this car, I mean, I already talked to my parents about selling it because a guy offered me $150 for it already.
Dang.
Just because of the color, the options. It's the 3LT track package.
Oh, you got all the options.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's as good as it gets.
Yeah, so, I mean, it would have been worth it. Would have been hell of a profit. But if I sell it, I'm not getting another one anytime soon. I mean,
Yeah.
it's already 2, 3 year, 4 year waits.
Yeah. You must have to find your next car
Right.
before you can
Yeah.
sell this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sure with more time, it'll go up in price. Well, I'm not sure.
I mean, I would
But-
say so because they made them for 2020. It's
Right.
got under 10,000 miles.
There's only going to be so many of them.
Yeah, and with that color, they were discontinued.
Yeah,
in
lightning
2021.
blue is
Yeah,
a hard
it's like
number to
a
come.
red
It's
color.
sharp.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it is
it's
sharp.
not,
It does
wouldn't be the
pop.
color I'd pick, but it's like
Yeah,
a
it was the
really rare
least
option.
purchased color too.
I mean, yeah, think
Wow.
people like Stradman, like car YouTuber.
Yeah.
He had one on order and he canceled it because he couldn't get it.
I'm subscribed to that man.
He's cool. He's fun. He's got a lot of cool stuff though.
Yeah, I think does he have a red one now, or he borrowed a red one?
He had that one from Corvette, from
Oh.
Chevy. They like brought it to his house for like 4 hours. He wasn't allowed to take it off his driveway. Like the truck was there the whole time. It was more like a photo shoot, like just pumping it up kind of thing. Still really cool, but
Yeah, yeah.
he wasn't allowed to drive it.
Maybe when it gets up to 200, I'll sell.
Yeah.
But
Have you been able to ride or drive in anyone else's vehicles? Like any friends you have that own anything?
nothing fancy. I have taken a 720S out on the road.
Ooh.
Scared the whole time because I was way out of my element. I mean, that's
What brand?
350,000. That's a McLaren.
that's a
McLaren.
high end. Yeah,
That's nice.
the
It's one of-
720s. That's top notch. Like
No,
out of
765's out now though.
McLaren. It is.
Yeah,
The new one?
765 LTs are out. They've been out for probably a year.
Because that's like what 1,000 something horsepower.
It's a lot.
Holy cow.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know
But-
what it is, but
I mean, it was fun. It was crazy to have that big of an engine. I mean, mine's still a naturally aspirated V8, but to have any like a 10, 12, or 16 behind you, it's always a good time. So it's a little
they're
scary.
crazy. Those 720Ss are. They can. Most people do like a tune exhaust, tires, and they are still sending it. Like people have wheel spin yet at like 80 and 90 miles an hour, like year 3, and that's ridiculous. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
went like 72. That's it.
I probably wouldn't go any faster either, but.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've driven a 2000 Ford F-150, Rust bucket from Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, still got the Ohio plates on there.
Nice.
But yeah,
That's one of the coolest things I think about your Corvette is how the front license plate is bent around the
noticed that
front
other day. It
grille.
does
I'm
look
surprised
cool.
Texas makes you have one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we got toll roads everywhere, and they got to take pictures and stuff. But I'm not quite sure why they make it mandatory to have that front license plate. But I mean,
Even Ohio got rid of our mandatory for fronts.
yeah, I noticed that. And then, like like you said, like it's not straight. It's like hidden. So
You
like,
can hardly see it underneath the hood. So
yeah, but someone said it's at an angle and it's like bent like that because if it was straight up, when you're on the track and you're going speeds, it's just gonna tear it off.
it'll just come off anyways.
Yeah, so I guess that's why it's at an angle and like bent in under. But
Well, it looks nice too.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks sharp.
I
I didn't have it
pretty
on
fresh.
for a while. But then I'm like, if I'm gonna go through Texas, because just for me to leave the state of Texas, it's 6 hours to drive. So I have to
Wow.
drive from my house up into Arkansas 6 hours just to leave the state. So I'm like, I might as well put my front license plate on.
Yeah, take it with you at least.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
Smart call.
I mean, just put that into perspective. It takes you can drive this from our state to the bottom of our state in like 4.5.
Yeah.
And that's
a third of your trip is Texas.
yeah.
That is pretty wild. I mean, Texas is big, but
That's a huge state. It's
holy cow.
second biggest state, but
Yeah, it sucks.
It
'Cause,
is
like
insane.
you see the sign for Texas, and like you still got 5-6 hours to get home.
Yeah.
It's mentally
grinding.
You see the sign for Ohio, you're like on the home stretch basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you're doing that trip after this, eh?
Yep. I'd probably get home tomorrow afternoon, maybe by 5 o'clock, hopefully.
You going through the night?
Yeah, I did 18 hours straight here. Hopefully the traffic is better at night, but yeah, with the roads being wet and colder, we'll see. Because when my tires get wet and cold, they become plastic. Like
It's like an ice skating. It's like an ice skating rink.
Yeah, so I won't be able to hit speeds until probably Tennessee, a little bit below Kentucky, probably, depending on temperature. But I mean, I'll be leaving in sweatpants and sweatshirt, and when I get there, I'll need sunscreen and shorts and a t-shirt. So should be nice.
That sounds
Yeah.
so nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's been 98 all week.
Yeah, pretty ironic that literally one of the probably 4 days you were up, it snowed.
Yeah.
I thought about that this morning. I was like, I would have been upset if I was Alan. Like having to drive in the snow this morning would have been. If you had to go anywhere, it would have sucked.
Yeah, I went to Walmart and I had to put it in weather mode, and it was like going.
That's funny.
It was going so slow, and it kept like flashing, like tires cold, tires cold. Tires
Don't drive me. I'm not for this.
So yeah, and I actually had to use like a microfiber brush, like that's made for like washing cars without leaving like the scratches. I used that and
I
like
was say, do you have any
in the
paint
car.
protection film on there?
nope,
Mm,
don't even have one scratch yet.
you're ballsy.
Yeah,
I would invest in paint protection film if I was you, but
yeah, I was gonna do that, but then they're like, yeah, we'll need your car for at least a week or two. I'm like, this is my daily driver. I have to buy another car or Uber to work every day.
Actually, on that note, I was a little curious. So obviously, you're playing like your day-to-day car, like your supercar by ear, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about, or do you want to like at some point start collecting?
Oh yeah, collecting would be nice, but I don't know when I want to start.
Right.
Probably start with the older cars, pick up someone's A to B car that's like older. Like I've seen many like 60s, 70s Mustangs out there that are everyday cars, and probably hand them some cash in the parking lot and be like, hey, you want to sell that car and get the title and start collecting. But right now, I just don't have the room.
I was gonna say you
yeah.
probably want a house.
Yeah, where do you
You're gonna need
do you
quite a
get to
garage
park
for
your car
collection.
inside?
No, our garage at our house is the couch and TV.
Oh yeah.
Like the Pong setup, the darts, like
Because you kind of live like near the college, right?
yeah. So
And
it's a
then
party house.
Party house with a group of guys that are students, I guess, or do
Yeah.
they all work?
Yeah, they're students. They're all on the track and team. Like they run pole vault in 200. So they're all Texas State D1 athletes. They're both from Ohio. So we get along great and pretty much just have parties every other weekend. The whole yard is like set up with floodlights and the beer dye tables and the Pong, and pretty much got everything set up there. And
Then the car out in the driveway, I guess.
yeah.
For sure.
I did put up motion sensor light, like floodlights, like solar powered, like really bright ones, so that no one comes by. 'Cause
Right.
that's what we were worried about, was someone seeing the car. And I mean, we live in a nice neighborhood, but like you never know. So we had to put lights up and make sure like any one of our cars that's parked out there is covered by a light, so it lights up. Because I mean, it's just sitting out there.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah.
Oh, Dev's got a question.
Oh, Devin.
This
So-
is Devin coming in.
Yeah. So obviously you have a nice car. What is like, I don't want to say your one main thing, but like people obviously like, how do I say this? You get a lot of looks for your car, right? Like what are some of you've probably had some good stories, or like have you ever caught people taking pictures on your car and you walk out like, hey guys,
Yeah.
boop boop.
Even in Lormy, I have a Snapchat
yeah.
video. Yeah, I was at Wagner's and this dad like parked up by the handicap by the bike rack at Wagner's, and I was parked like by their sign by the road, and this dad walks up and like he holds his camera up and he's like looking underneath his glasses, and his kids are next
You want me to
him.
take that for you, man?
And I don't know if he didn't realize, because I have tint on the car. I didn't realize if he didn't see me, because I had the car running because I was looking at like my phone or something. And then, like, as he was taking pictures, I started filming him, and apparently he didn't notice because of the tent. And I don't know who it was, but I've had that in the Army already. Forget who it was. Was it Holscher Ryan? Maybe he sent me a video of some Houston kid like putting my car on his story at the track meet or something. And yeah, you get a lot of that in Austin. Pretty much wherever I go. Whenever I go shopping, I have this ring that I put on, so like people don't talk to me because of the car. Like it's hanging on the review mirror, so like wherever I go, like I'll like put the ring on or whatever, and like if anybody asks me, I'm like, no, I'm married or something like that, because it does get
Oh,
annoying.
I was wondering where he was going with that, but yeah,
It does get annoying, yeah. But it happens often. It happens often, a lot, especially with the college town. Some people like pull up next to you at stoplights and just stare at you, or like people follow you. I've had a few people follow me before, but then just like notice it and then just dust them.
So for anybody out there, unlike me who doesn't know much about cars, even in the standards of like the cars around Austin, you have a nice car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
In case you were confused, because I wasn't.
And then you have people like me who text them, "Hey, you want to give me a ride
Yeah,
while you're in town?" You know what I'm saying?
No, sorry, he's married.
taken. But I've only ever seen 2 other cars like mine in the state of Texas.
That's actually pretty crazy.
For how big?
That
it
you
is.
I mean,
know
I've only
of
seen one car like
anyways.
yours.
What's that?
Let's say that you know of anyways.
Yeah, like just passing on the interstate, driving to work, driving around the weekends, going to Austin at night. I've only seen a red and black one, and that's, I mean,
Still pretty rare to see those around.
yeah, most people probably don't daily drive them, but I mean, I know people that daily drive their SVJs and their STOs. So
$800,000 $800,000 $1 million
What brand are
Lamborghini.
Lamborghinis, like the
They're-
STO is.
Those things are cool.
I've only seen one, and he's like, "Yeah, I just drive it to work every day." I'm like,
It's a
That's so
track-oriented Huracan, essentially.
Yeah, that's so drastic.
It's all carbon fiber. It's all weight reductions. It's
"It's
nothing
not made
fancy.
for the interstate; it's made for the track."
Yeah.
Mhm.
It should be trailered there, like it's what is
Yeah.
supposed to be happening.
What's a really nice car that someone has around here? Like, obviously, don't say like who it is, but like, we know a few people that have like pretty nice cars, not in crazy, but like they never leave the garage.
The nicest cars in town I know of are a C7 Corvette
Like,
and Larmy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like,
Like,
that's what comes to
there's
mind
some
for me.
trucks that are maybe worth as much, but
oh, true.
but
I guess
That's
the
about
the
it.
Trucks see a lot of.
I've only
road.
ever in the state of Ohio I've seen a Ferrari 488 in
Yeah.
Sydney, and they're about the same color blue as Allen's. And the only other time I've seen anything other than like something that I would consider normal is when I was in Columbus a couple times.
Yeah.
I saw a couple 570S's parked together, like a lime green and an orange one, and that's it.
So
Yeah.
I actually,
Like you don't see anything cool.
Yeah.
That was a big eye-opening experience for me when we took a vacation down to Florida and we drove through Miami. And just
boardwalk.
Yeah, like Rolls Royce, some Bentleys, Porsches. It was crazy.
So out where I live, like you guys know where I live, it's
Yeah.
not far, right? But
What's your address?
we'll put it on the screen. Don't worry.
It's actually in the description.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. I mean, it's by the lake, right? And it's kind of secluded. So there's a bunch of older people that live out there, and they got money, obviously, because they got nice houses on the lake. Just about every year, there's a car show, and most of them are just older cars, like Thunderbirds or something like that. But every now and then, there's a really nice car, and these people are local, but you never see these cars driven. Like
Yeah.
ever. I've never, and I know half the people that go to this car show.
They're garage queens. That's what they're there
That's what
for,
I'm
though.
saying. They
Like
never
there's
leave
6
the
months of
garage.
the year though where I wouldn't drive anything that was
Well, yeah,
worth.
I'm not saying anything. about it. I'm just saying
$200,000.
it's so-
When you live down there and you can daily a car and
Yeah.
then still sell it, like you said, for
Exactly.
a profit,
That-
why
it's so
not daily
different.
it?
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, I think it'd be really cool to just wake up, go to work, and on your way to work, see 12, 15 different cars that you would never see in Ohio, like
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
I guess I lied. The last couple weeks I saw a Gallardo 2 weeks ago, and I saw a Huracan today. But still, apparently my boss
That just
texted
slipped
me.
my mind.
We're gonna try. Yeah, I did forget about this. We're gonna finish this up, otherwise it's gonna cut off. But actually, the car we saw today, my boss sent us like a link or told us he was like, "Yeah, I was on an accident like 2 exits from where we saw it," and I was like, No way. What are the chances like we see it and probably like 10, 15 minutes later it was in a car crash, like totaled it. Well, I'm like, that sucks.
That sucks.
Important socials.
Yeah, so if you guys listened all the way to the end, thank you much. Thank you so much to Alan. It was a great time talking to you.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, all of your worldly experiences are pretty interesting.
So you
so
came back
for
from
sure.
Texas just for this, right?
Yeah, that's why I came.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just for this.
yeah.
Yeah.
World famous
Makes
Speaking
sense.
Sporadically podcast.
Yes, sir.
See him once a year.
He's going to send this in as his audition for the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, we got to outdo him.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. I just don't know if I want that paparazzi life so soon. You know what I'm saying? But
Live in a penthouse.
yeah,
I don't think you're
that's
gonna get a
all I'll do.
paparazzi
Easy.
around here, but
Hey, they might. You never know.
You never know.
Never know. Well,
But yeah, thanks for listening. Hit that subscribe button.
make sure you go follow the socials, Instagram at Speaking Sporadically, Speaking_sporadically, TikTok at Speaking Sporadically. Make sure to go follow Alan on Instagram at supercar-c8.
Yeah, and all of those are linked down in the description. Anything you guys are going to need, check out that description. It's in there. And we will see you guys later.
peace.
Peace.